Free to Roam, A Digital Nomad's Guide for the Post-COVID Remote Worker by Dougie Lux. Austin, Texas, copyright 2023. For Selena, who, despite it all, understands that a nomad has to do what a nomad has to do, thank you for everything. I love you. 1. Unshackling from the office, transitioning to remote work and beyond. In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity. Sun Tzu.
Picture this. It's early 2020, and I'm riding high on life. I've spent a good chunk of the previous year writing and publishing my first book, and I'm planning an exciting West Coast tour for its upcoming launch in March 2020. An event series I produce in Los Angeles secured a full year of sponsorship, and I'm ready to celebrate by buying one of those obnoxiously large inflatable swans for pool parties. Life is good. But, as they say, the best laid plans often go awry, or in this case, get entirely obliterated by a global pandemic. As COVID-19 swept the world, my dreams of a book tour and skimpily clad pool parties vanished faster than the toilet paper at the local supermarket. And so, I found myself in the same boat as millions of others, scrambling to make sense of a world turned upside down, and figuring out how to keep the bills paid. After a brief mourning period for my decimated plans, I returned to my old web design and digital marketing job. As I dusted off my trusty laptop and prepared to dive back into the hourly grind, I realized the silver lining. Once again, I had been given the opportunity to work remotely and chance to rekindle my digital nomad lifestyle. Like a pale, featherless phoenix rising from the ashes of a long-forgotten career, I felt reborn, once again ready to embrace the life of freedom and adventure that remote work could offer. Working from home felt great, but taking full advantage of this remote opportunity didn't happen immediately. Eventually, though, as the pandemic subsided and life served me up a few curveballs, I once again packed my bags and hit the road with the same enthusiasm as a dog chasing a bacon-covered squirrel. But that's enough about me for now. Let's talk about you. If you're reading this, chances are you're one of the millions of people who transitioned to remote work during COVID-19, and now you find yourself with that same tantalizing tickle of freedom. Perhaps you're tired of staring at the same four walls and are itching to explore the world, or at least a different four walls. You're probably a freedom-seeking individual, or at least aspire to be, ideally with a reliable income, no kids, or at least none that you're aware of, and are either single or with a partner who shares your remote workability and travel aspirations. Perhaps you're beginning to feel ready to break the chains of the traditional life and set off on a grand adventure, swapping your humdrum existence for a life of excitement and exploration. But where do you start? How do you make the leap from remote worker to digital nomad? How do you navigate the expectations versus realities of this lifestyle and avoid the pitfalls that have claimed many a starry-eyed adventurer before you? Fear not, dear reader, for I am here to guide you on this journey and offer this book as a key to your kingdom or queendom of liberty and excitement. In this first chapter, we'll explore the ins and outs of transitioning from remote worker to digital nomad, which will help you decide if this path is right for you, and your career, or if it's an entirely terrible idea. As we journey together through the wild and wonderful world of digital nomadism, I'll share my experiences, anecdotes, and hard-won lessons. I'll illuminate the path for you and help you avoid some of the mistakes I made. We'll laugh, ponder the meaning of life, and most importantly, uncover the inside scoop on the digital nomad lifestyle. So grab a beverage of your choice. I recommend something caffeinated or alcoholic depending on the time of day, and prepare for a memorable adventure. Whether you're a seasoned remote worker looking to take the next step, a recent convert to the world of location independence, or simply a curious soul wondering what all the fuss is about, this book is your ticket to a life of freedom, adventure, and personal growth. The great remote work riot of 2020, COVID breaks us out. As we all know, 2020 was a roller coaster of a year, but amidst the turmoil, a revolution was brewing, one that would change how we think about work forever. Enter the great remote work riot of 2020, the year when the traditional office went the way of the woolly mammoth, and the 9-to-5 lifestyle became as outdated as a fax machine. But seriously, why do those things even still exist? When the COVID-19 pandemic hit, it forced businesses and employees to adapt.
And by adapt, I mean panic.
Companies that had previously been as rigid as an undercooked noodle when it came to remote work suddenly found themselves with no other option. As the world went into lockdown, office buildings gathered dust, water coolers stood abandoned, and photocopiers everywhere wondered if they'd ever again be subjected to scanning someone's backside during an ill-advised office party prank. Overnight, millions of workers found themselves working from home, some in their pajamas, others in whatever they'd passed out in the night before, enjoying the immediate benefits of location independence. No longer bound by a daily commute, people discovered they had more time for hobbies, family, and binging on Netflix.
Seriously though, how many true crime documentaries can one person watch?
The once dreaded commute now consisted of rolling out of bed and stumbling to the nearest device with an internet connection. For some, the shift to remote work was a beautiful, caffeine-fueled dream. They embraced their new sweatpants-clad existence with open arms and legs, reveling in the ability to work on their couch, kitchen counter, or even their bed. For others, it was a constant battle to ward off the distractions of home life. I'm looking at you, pile of laundry that never seems to get any smaller. Employers too began to see the advantages of remote work. With employees working from home, companies could save on overhead costs like office space, electricity, and that fancy espresso machine no one knew how to operate correctly. And while there were undoubtedly challenges, Zoom meetings with kid interruptions, pet pop-ins, no one wants to see your butthole Cleopatra, or half-naked spouses making unexpected cameos, many businesses found that their employees were just as productive, if not more so, than before. As the weeks turned into months and the months into, well, more months, honestly, who could keep track at that point? A growing number of people began to wonder, do I ever want to go back to the office, like ever? That once sparkling water cooler gossip had lost its allure, replaced by the freedom to make a sandwich or take a power nap whenever the mood struck. And who wants to return to the days of awkward elevator encounters with Bob from accounting anyway? This shift in work culture sparked what I have dubbed the Great Remote Work Riot of 2020. Workers across the globe tasted the sweet nectar of location independence and found it downright intoxicating. The idea of returning to a physical office became increasingly unappealing, and the concept of remote work took root in the minds of the general population, like an invasive kudzu plant. While some rejoiced and moved to a new city or country to take advantage of their newfound freedom, others merely fantasized about it during tedious Zoom calls. The common thread, however, was that the traditional office, with its fluorescent lighting, partitioned cubicles, and soul-sucking atmosphere, had lost its iron grip on the workforce. Others began to entertain dreams of working from a beach in Bali or a cozy cafe in Paris. The age of digital nomadism, which was already well underway pre-COVID, now began to flourish like an over-fertilized shrub. No longer tethered to a specific location, individuals from all walks of life began to consider the possibilities of life on the move. From software engineers to writers, graphic designers to consultants, the world was suddenly brimming with potential digital nomads eager to take the leap and explore the globe, laptop in hand. So, what exactly is digital nomadism? And is it a valid lifestyle choice for you? Is it really all sunshine, rainbows, and pina coladas, or are there hidden pitfalls lurking beneath the surface? And perhaps most importantly, how can you determine if this path is right for you in your career? That's what we'll explore in the next section. We'll dive deep into the mostly beautiful world of digital nomadism, uncovering the benefits and challenges of this unique lifestyle, and helping you decide if it's time to trade in your office life for a life on the road. So let's get started. What is digital nomadism, and is it right for you? Now that we've established the context of our remote work revolution, let's clarify the common misconception that remote work and digital nomadism are the same thing. While the COVID-19 pandemic popularized remote work, it's necessary to understand that not all remote workers are digital nomads, or even want to be. Many people who transitioned to working from home during the pandemic merely moved their office to their living room or kitchen, continuing to live in the same town or city as before, just with a significantly shorter commute and a much more lenient dress code. For example, you've just woken up in your regular bedroom with the same old paint job and view of the house across the street. You roll out of bed, stumble into your combo living room / office / guest room to your makeshift workspace, and fire up your laptop.
Congratulations, you're a remote worker.
Digital nomads, on the other hand, take full advantage of the location independence offered by remote work, allowing them to travel and experience new cultures while working. They often live out of their suitcases or backpacks, and their office can be anywhere with a reliable internet connection. They travel from place to place, exploring cultures and destinations while maintaining their careers. Digital nomadism is more than just working remotely. It's a lifestyle that prioritizes freedom, adventure, and personal growth. It's about trading in your office chair for a hammock, swapping your cubicle for a beachside cabana, and replacing your daily Starbucks Grande Pumpkin Frappuccino with a freshly brewed cup of local coffee, or yak butter tea if that's what's on offer, from a street vendor. Imagine waking up in a chic Airbnb in Barcelona, the sounds of a bustling market drifting through your window. After a quick café con leche and a croissant from a nearby bakery, you head to a co-working space where you'll spend the day collaborating with fellow digital nomads. After work, you join a group of new friends for tapas and sangria before catching a flamenco show. Sound enticing?
Well, my friend, you've just dipped your toes into the warm waters of digital nomadism.
But it's not all sangria and flamenco shows. Digital nomadism comes with challenges. For example, dealing with time zone differences, unstable Wi-Fi, language barriers, and the dreaded "did I really leave my charger in the hotel room" in Hong Kong moments. It's a life that requires adaptability, resilience, and a sense of humor, especially when things don't go according to plan, which, spoiler alert, they often don't. So, now that you're clear on the difference between remote work and digital nomadism, let's take a moment to reflect on what this means for you. Are you content with working from home, enjoying the flexibility and freedom that remote work offers, without venturing too far from your comfort zone? Or do you crave something more, a life of adventure, exploration, and personal growth? If you're leaning toward the former, please close this book and give it to a friend. However, if you're leaning toward the latter, then congratulations. You're well on your way to becoming a card-carrying member of the Digital Nomad Club. But before you book that one-way ticket to Marrakesh, let's dive deeper into the world of digital nomadism and determine if it's the right path for you. Here are a few questions to ask yourself as you ponder the digital nomad lifestyle. Am I comfortable with uncertainty and change? Digital nomadism often means dealing with unexpected challenges and adapting to new environments. It's not always smooth sailing, so it's essential to have a go-with-the-flow attitude. Can I maintain a healthy work-life balance while traveling? It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of new destinations and experiences, but work still needs to get done. Any successful digital nomad must strike the right balance between productivity and adventure. Do I have the necessary skills and experience to work remotely? While many jobs can be done remotely, some require specialized skills or expertise. Ensure you have a marketable skill set that allows you to work independently and effectively from anywhere in the world. Am I willing to sacrifice some of the comforts and conveniences of a stable, sedentary lifestyle? Digital nomadism can mean giving up a permanent home and access to familiar surroundings. If you're not ready to trade these comforts for the excitement and unpredictability of life on the road, the digital nomad lifestyle might not be for you. Can I handle the potential loneliness and isolation of digital nomadism? While the life of a digital nomad can be incredibly enriching, it can also be isolating at times. Building a solid support network of other nomads and maintaining connections with friends and family back home is vital to stave off feelings of loneliness. We'll dive into these topics and many more as we weave through this book. For now, take some time to reflect on these questions and consider whether digital nomadism is the right choice for you. Afterward, if you're still feeling the pull of adventure and the lure of the open road, keep reading. We've got plenty more to explore in the wild and wonderful world of digital nomadism. In the coming sections, we'll delve deeper into the digital nomad lifestyle, uncover the various styles of nomad life, examine the expectations versus realities, and discover how to avoid common pitfalls on your nomadic journey. We'll also arm you with the tools, tips, and tricks you'll need to succeed in this brave new world, to help you navigate the challenges and embrace the opportunities that await you. Take a moment to imagine the exciting possibilities that lie ahead. There's never been a better time to join the digital nomad revolution, so let's start exploring the nomadic spectrum, finding your perfect fit. So you've decided to take the plunge and embark on the thrilling journey of digital nomadism. Huzzah! But hold on a second, my wanderlust-filled friend. Before packing your bags and booking flights, it's essential to understand that there's more than one way to be a digital nomad. That's right, the digital nomad lifestyle is a vast and varied landscape, and finding your perfect fit is the secret to your success and happiness along your journey. In this section, we'll explore the different styles of digital nomad life, helping you determine which aligns with your personality, preferences, and priorities. From slow traveling to globetrotting and everything in between, there's a digital nomad lifestyle that's just right for you. So let's somersault into the ring and find your sweet spot on the digital nomad spectrum.
The slow traveler.
These nomads prefer to take their time, immersing themselves in the local culture and establishing a routine in each destination. Often staying in one place for several weeks or even months, the slow traveler values deep connections and a sense of belonging, enjoying the opportunity to experience life as a local. Slow traveling might be the perfect fit if you're looking for a more immersive and authentic travel experience. The globetrotter. This breed of digital nomad craves constant change and thrives on novel experiences. With a packed itinerary and a seemingly endless list of destinations, the globetrotter often moves, bouncing from city to city and country to country. If living out of a suitcase and collecting passport stamps like they're going out of style sounds appealing, then the globetrotter life might be your calling.
The home base hopper.
Can't decide between the slow traveler and the globetrotter? Well, good news. There's a middle ground. The home base hopper establishes a temporary home base in a particular city or region and takes shorter trips to explore satellite destinations. This hybrid approach allows for stability and adventure, providing the best of both worlds for those who crave variety without the constant upheaval.
The seasonal nomad.
If you love to chase the sun or the snow, the seasonal nomad lifestyle could be right up your alley. These nomads follow the seasons, for example, spending their summer in the northern hemisphere and then flying to the southern hemisphere
For another summer.
This lifestyle is perfect for those with specific climate preferences who want to align their travels with seasonal activities such as skiing, surfing, or just lounging by the pool. The remote worker with a side of wanderlust. Still trying to decide whether to take on the whole digital nomad lifestyle? By incorporating travel into your remote work life, you can still satisfy your wanderlust while maintaining a stable home base. Plan extended vacations, take advantage of long weekends, or work from friends' houses in different cities for a week or two. It's a great way to dip your toes into the digital nomad lifestyle without committing to a full-time, location-independent existence. Now that we've explored the various styles of digital nomad life, take some time to reflect on which approach resonates with you. Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all solution. The key to a successful digital nomad journey is finding the lifestyle that aligns with your personality, priorities, and passions. As you contemplate your place on the digital nomad spectrum, consider the following questions. What are my priorities when considering a work-life balance? Your ideal digital nomad lifestyle should align with your personal and professional goals, ensuring you can maintain a healthy balance between work and play. Do you prefer a more structured routine or the freedom to change your schedule? Consider your work habits and how they might be affected by your chosen nomad lifestyle. What type of travel experience do I crave? Are you drawn to fully immersing yourself in local culture, or do you prefer a whirlwind tour of multiple destinations? Think about the experiences that excite you most and how they align with the digital nomad styles. How much stability do I need? For some, the idea of often changing locations can be exhilarating, while for others it might be anxiety-inducing. Reflect on your need for stability and how it might impact your choice of digital nomad lifestyle. What is my ideal work environment? Some digital nomads thrive in bustling co-working spaces, while others prefer the solitude of a quiet cafe or the comfort of their Airbnb. Consider the type of environment in which you work best and how it might be affected by your nomad lifestyle choice. How do my relationships factor into my decision? If you have a partner, family, or overly needy friends, it's essential to consider how your digital nomad lifestyle might affect these relationships. Discuss your plans with your loved ones and ensure they're on board with your chosen path. Once you've thoroughly explored these questions and landed on your ideal digital nomad style, or at least one you want to try first, you're one step closer to embarking on the adventure of a lifetime. In the next section, we'll delve deeper into the digital nomad life, tackling the expectations versus realities, and offering practical advice on navigating the challenges and opportunities ahead. With a better understanding of your preferred digital nomad style and armed with the knowledge you've gained thus far, you're well on your way to a successful, fulfilling, and adventure-filled nomadic journey. Expectations versus realities, the truth bombs you need to know. Embarking on the digital nomad journey is exhilarating, but you must approach this lifestyle with realistic expectations. Sure, it's easy to get swept up in the picture-perfect Instagram feeds and inspiring blog posts, but behind those gorgeous sunsets and pristine beaches lie the not-so-glamorous realities of digital nomad life. So let's explore some common misconceptions and set the record straight on the expectations versus the realities of the digital nomad lifestyle. In other words, I'm about to drop some often unspoken truth bombs. Life's a beach. Expectation. When you think of digital nomads, you might envision sun-kissed skin, sandy toes, and leisurely afternoons spent sipping pina coladas by the shore. But the reality? That laptop lifestyle doesn't exactly mix well with sand and salt water. Your office might not be as glamorous as you think. While there are undoubtedly beautiful and inspiring locations to work from, you'll also find yourself grinding away in less than ideal environments like noisy cafes, crowded co-working spaces, or cramped hostel rooms. Work-life balance? Nailed it. Expectation. Many digital nomads imagine their work-life balance will be a breeze. After all, you're setting your hours and living in paradise.
Reality.
Maintaining a healthy work-life balance is always challenging, especially when moving. Time zones, varying Wi-Fi speeds, and the temptation to explore your surroundings can make it tough to stay focused and productive. You must establish routines and boundaries to ensure your work doesn't consume your entire nomadic experience. I'll become a networking ninja. Expectation. With countless digital nomads and remote workers scattered across the globe, you might think that making new friends and business connections will be a piece of cake.
Reality.
Building meaningful relationships can be tricky when constantly changing locations. While you'll undoubtedly meet many interesting people on your travels, forming deep connections and maintaining long-lasting friendships can be difficult. It's helpful to prioritize networking events and social gatherings and embrace online communities to stay connected with fellow nomads. I'll save a fortune living abroad. Expectation. Many digital nomads are drawn to the lifestyle by the prospect of living in more affordable destinations, dreaming of stretching their dollars while enjoying a high quality of life.
Reality.
While it's true that many popular digital nomad hubs have lower costs of living, you'll also face additional expenses, such as visas, insurance, flights, and accommodation. Plus, let's be honest, those spontaneous adventures, nights out, and delicious local dishes can add up. Budgeting and financial planning are crucial for making the most of your nomadic lifestyle. I'll be an instant language whiz.
Reality.
If you're hopping from country to country, you might assume you'll effortlessly pick up new languages left and right, impressing locals and other nomads alike with your linguistic prowess. Reality. Learning a language is a challenging feat when you're also juggling work and travel. While you'll pick up some phrases and basic conversation skills, becoming fluent in multiple languages requires dedicated study and practice. Consider language learning apps or online courses to sharpen your skills. I'm free, no more responsibilities. Expectation. The allure of the digital nomad lifestyle often stems from the promise of freedom, the ability to break free from the shackles of a 9-to-5 existence and the traditional responsibilities that come with it. Reality. While it's true that the digital nomad lifestyle offers a special sense of freedom, it doesn't mean you're entirely off the hook when it comes to responsibilities. You might find yourself juggling even more obligations, such as managing your business, staying on top of taxes and visas, and ensuring your accommodation and travel plans are squared away. I'll be a world-class traveler in no time. Expectation. With visions of effortlessly navigating foreign cities, haggling like a pro in local markets, and trying every exotic dish in sight, you might imagine yourself transforming into a savvy, seasoned traveler the moment you set foot on foreign soil. Reality. The truth is, becoming a world-class traveler takes time, practice, and a whole lot of trial and error. You'll inevitably face your fair share of travel mishaps and culture shock, but with each new experience, you'll become more adept at navigating the challenges and embracing the joys of life on the road. So there you have a few unfiltered truths about the expectations versus the realities of the digital nomad lifestyle. While this journey may not be all sunshine and rainbows, it's an incredible opportunity for growth, adventure, and self-discovery. And let's be honest, the endless fodder for hilarious travel anecdotes and humble brag-worthy stories is just the cherry on top. In the next section, we'll wrap up this chapter by summarizing what we've covered and offering some final considerations as you consider your path to digital nomad success. Keep your eyes on the prize, bold reader, because the world is waiting for you to conquer it, one Wi-Fi password at a time. Key takeaways and considerations. High five, amigo! You've made it through the gritty, uncensored truths of digital nomad life and you're still standing. By now, you've got a solid grasp on the ins and outs of this extraordinary lifestyle, and you might be itching to grab your passport and hit the road. But hold your horses. Before you pack up your bags and kiss your cubicle goodbye, there are some essential considerations to contemplate as you prepare to set off on your digital nomad odyssey. So, without further ado, let's tally-ho. Work-life balance, the eternal struggle. As mentioned, striking the perfect balance between work and play can be a Herculean task for even the most disciplined digital nomads. You'll need to learn to set boundaries, establish routines, and find a rhythm that keeps you productive, healthy, and sane. The fine art of networking. Forming meaningful relationships and connections is critical to the digital nomad lifestyle. It's helpful to prioritize networking events, social gatherings, and online communities that help you stay connected and supported. After all, who better to trade tales of misadventures, share Wi-Fi horror stories, and exchange hot tips on the best co-working spaces than your fellow digital nomads? The not-so-glamorous side of nomad life. While it's tempting to focus solely on the highlights of digital nomad life, embracing and preparing for the less glamorous aspects is important. From dealing with unstable internet connections to navigating cultural differences, this lifestyle has its fair share of challenges. Accepting and learning from these experiences is critical to personal growth and resilience. Health and well-being. Don't neglect yourself. Maintaining your physical and mental well-being should be a top priority as you navigate the digital nomad lifestyle. From staying active and eating well, to practicing self-care and managing stress, developing healthy habits that support your overall well-being is necessary.
Remember, a healthy, happy nomad is a successful nomad.
Finances, your trusty steed in the digital nomad journey. Let's face it, money makes the world go round, and it's no different for digital nomads. From budgeting and saving to managing taxes and investments, staying on top of your finances and ensuring you're setting yourself up for long-term success is crucial. Trust me, future you will thank you for it. And there you have it, my adventurous compadre. Some no-holds-barred insight into digital nomadism. From the tantalizing highs to the humbling lows, you're now armed with the knowledge and insight to decide whether this lifestyle is right for you. If you ask me, while the road may be bumpy, the Wi-Fi may be spotty, and your questionable street food choices may leave you hugging a toilet, in the end, the journey is worth every exhilarating twist and turn. After all, as the late, great Hunter S. Thompson once said, life should not be a journey to the grave with the intention of arriving safely in a pretty and well-preserved body, but rather to skid in broadside in a cloud of smoke, thoroughly used up, totally worn out, and loudly proclaiming,
Wow, what a ride.
2. Escaping the ordinary, embracing the digital nomad life. A ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are built for.
John A. Shedd.
Growing up, I wasn't your average kid with a white picket fence and a golden retriever. Oh no, my childhood was more like a roller coaster ride through the European continent, with my mom as the fearless, and sometimes fear-inducing, conductor. We hopped from London to Rome faster than you can say spaghetti bolognese. Sure, it might not have been a normal upbringing, but who needs normal when you're busy exploring ancient Roman ruins on your trusty two-wheeler? We moved every few years, it seemed. Some might say that probably wasn't a stable childhood, and perhaps they're right, but at least it wasn't dull. And there's no doubt that my early life planted the seed of my nomadic future. In my final semester at design school, I took an animation course that used a design tool called Flash. While the app became extinct many years ago, the part that forever changed my life was learning how to embed these animations into simple web pages, which we published online. It was around 2002, and the World Wide Web was taking off. This unexpected college course changed my life forever. I suddenly looked at my laptop as my personal, portable factory, my ticket into making a living while traveling. Back then, there was no term for digital nomads. I called myself a tech nomad, a term which sounds cooler but never caught on, so digital nomad it is. Soon after college, I began traveling the world, paying my way by building websites. And so, my love for remote work and the digital nomad lifestyle was born. It was a way to pursue my passion for exploring new cultures, while supporting myself along the way. Over the following decade, my travels brought me to the islands of Thailand, over the mountains of Patagonia, through the cow-filled streets of India, across Central America, and more. I even traveled for 6 months in a tuxedo for charity in 2007, leveraging a brand new platform called Facebook to raise money for the communities we traveled through. We even had a proper English tea party at Everest Base Camp, a tip of the hat to my time in jolly old Great Britain. There was something about being a master of my existence, being my own person, feeling like I was living life to the maximum, and doing the work I wanted to do on my terms that was too irresistible to ignore. The inspiration I felt from different locations and how it fueled my creativity was hard to recreate when I felt locked in one place. Around this time, I remember studies in human psychology were gaining traction exploring how to get into flow states and how to stoke our creativity. The stages at conferences like TED were graced by thought leaders who espoused insights into the human condition and how productivity and motivation are influenced directly by the levels of autonomy, mastery, and purpose that we feel in our lives. These findings resonated with my own experiences, and I saw the power of the digital nomad lifestyle in fostering these conditions for my personal growth and a more profound sense of fulfillment. As I continued to travel, I met digital nomads who shared similar stories of transformation and self-discovery. We exchanged tales of the ridiculous situations we found ourselves in, like that time after riding across the open plains of Kyrgyzstan in a velvet robe, falling into a deep sleep during which a local mischief maker put a baby goat in my bed, quite the surprise to wake up to. Or when I got stranded in a Chilean town that a flood had leveled, thanks to my out-of-date guidebook. Sharing experiences bonded us together. But before you start planning your trip, I'd like to cover a few more considerations to ponder before you take the leap. The impulse behind your desire for freedom and adventure. So you've caught the digital nomad bug, and you're itching to hit the road, laptop in hand. But before we pack our bags and tell our bosses we're never coming back, let's take a moment to ponder the motivations behind this burning desire for freedom and adventure. Do you want to dive into the deep end of self-discovery, or are you just trying to escape that pesky neighbor who insists on borrowing your lawnmower every week? One thing's for sure, going full digital nomad means facing the great unknown, both on the road and within yourself. And that, my friend, can lead to some pretty memorable situations. For instance, have you ever tried explaining to a confused Balinese local that you're working from a cafe in their small village because your client in New York City is having a meltdown about their SEO score? Cue the awkward laughter as you both realize neither of you has a clue what the other is talking about. But it's not all fun and games. Embracing the digital nomad lifestyle means letting go of control and learning to roll with the punches. It's about finding the humor in being lost in translation or discovering that your Airbnb is, in fact, a storage closet. It's about taking a deep breath and learning to appreciate the beauty of the chaos unfolding around you. And believe me, there will be chaos. Like any time you travel anywhere in India, a truly character-building experience. So, let's break down the driving forces behind your wanderlust into 3 categories: the good, the less good, and the probably unrealistic.
The good.
You're genuinely passionate about exploring cultures and broadening your horizons. You're excited about working on your terms and being your own boss. You believe that stepping outside your comfort zone will help you grow.
The less good.
You're trying to escape problems at home that you'll still have to face eventually. Debt, relationship issues, your overbearing family, that creepy neighbor. You're more focused on the Instagram-worthy moments than the experience of living as a digital nomad. You're secretly hoping that the digital nomad life is a non-stop party, and you won't have to do any actual work. Spoiler alert, you will. The probably unrealistic. You've always wanted to work from a beach while sipping a piña colada, but forget that sand and laptops don't mix well. You're convinced you'll become fluent in 5 languages within a year, despite never having taken a language class in your life. You believe that becoming a digital nomad will turn you into an ultra-productive, superhuman version of yourself. Prepare for disappointment, my friend. So hopefully your motivations are solid, but even if you're running from something, someone, or even yourself, it doesn't matter because travel can bring it all to the surface and allow you to transform. Remember, as the great Ram Dass wrote,
Wherever you go, there you are.
eventually you'll have to face whatever issues you try to avoid, whether in Bali or back in your hometown. So, whatever your motivation, if you're genuinely passionate about embracing the digital nomad lifestyle, hop on board and let's keep this ball rolling. Convincing your skeptics and your mother that you're not insane. Okay, so you've decided and are ready to dive headfirst into the digital nomad lifestyle gracefully, hopefully, but there's one tiny problem. Your friends, family, and in particular, your dear mother, who always knows about your life better than you, are all bombarding you with questions like, how will you make money? Or, what about healthcare? Or, is this just an excuse to avoid settling down and giving me grandchildren? Thanks for that, Mom. This section is about arming you with the facts, figures, and snappy comebacks you'll need to convince your skeptics that you're sane and making a smart and savvy decision. First things first, let's talk numbers. There are currently over 35 million digital nomads worldwide, and that number is only expected to grow. There are almost 8 million in the US alone, and if there was any question, the pandemic proved once and for all that remote work is viable and incredibly efficient for many industries. So, the next time someone questions your choice, casually mention that you're part of a global revolution reshaping the future of work and of life itself.
And mic drop.
Now let's address the money question. There's a common misconception that digital nomads live on a shoestring budget, eat ramen noodles, and sleep on strangers' couches. While that may be true for some, no judgment here, many digital nomads are making a decent living and thriving financially. With the right skills and determination, you can find remote work that pays well and offers the flexibility you crave. So, when your doubting Uncle Montgomery asks how you'll pay the bills, feel free to remind him that you're a resourceful, self-sufficient adult capable of supporting yourself, thank you very much. Okay, let's tackle the issue of health insurance. Yes, navigating healthcare as a digital nomad can indeed be a bit tricky, but with some research and planning, you can find an insurance plan that covers you domestically and internationally. Plus, medical care in many countries is often more affordable than you'd think. You might even find yourself flying halfway around the world for a dental cleaning because it's cheaper than going to your local dentist and makes for a way better story at parties. We'll talk more about this later.
And now for the big one.
Convincing your mother that becoming a digital nomad is not throwing your life away. This might be the most formidable challenge yet, but I believe in you. Start by emphasizing the benefits of this lifestyle, the chance to experience different cultures, the opportunity to become more adaptable and resilient, and the fact that you'll be building a career that's not tied to one specific location. Who knows, you might even meet your future spouse on your travels. There, Mom, are you happy now? And a pro tip, if all else fails, you can always play the climate change card. With wildfires, hurricanes, and other natural disasters becoming more frequent and severe, having the flexibility to move when needed is an intelligent choice. In addition, as a digital nomad, you'll reduce your carbon footprint by ditching the daily commute and embracing a more minimalist lifestyle. So you're just doing your part to save the planet. That is, unless you're doing a lot of flying, in which case, don't mention that. Maybe you'll even want to start experimenting with using the term climate refugee instead of digital nomad, and see how the skeptics react to that. Or maybe that's a little too dark. It depends on you. As you embark on your digital nomad journey, you're also becoming an ambassador for this way of life, which we'll discuss later. Your experiences and successes can help break down misconceptions and inspire others to follow in your footsteps. So, hold your head high and embrace the adventure, knowing you're a member of a global community still in its infancy, yet growing quickly. Way to go, trendsetter! Taming the fear monster and learning to love the chaos. Now that you've silenced the skeptics and reassured your mom that you're not throwing your life away, get ready to face the most significant obstacle between you and the digital nomad lifestyle: your own fears and doubts. Let's start by acknowledging the elephant in the room. The world can seem scary, especially if you've been binge-watching sensationalized news or scrolling through the black hole known as social media. Every day there's some story about a natural disaster, a kidnapping, a political crisis, or some other form of chaos unfolding somewhere on the planet. It's enough to make even the most seasoned traveler want to crawl under the covers and never leave home again. But here's the thing. Most of our fear is a product of our minds. We're wired to focus on potential threats, so we often overlook the countless positive experiences that await us when we venture into the world. Instead, we focus on these infrequent anomalies. So, the first step in conquering your fears is to recognize that they're mostly just figments of your imagination, magnified by the constant barrage of bad news designed to keep us glued to our screens. Once you've made peace with the fact that the world is not out to get you, it's time to tackle the more specific fears that might be holding you back. Are you worried about getting lost in a foreign city? Afraid of being lonely or struggling to make friends? Concerned that you'll end up broke and living in a cardboard box under a bridge? Well, I have good news. Every digital nomad who's ever lived has faced these fears, and most of them have come out the other side relatively unscathed, more resilient, and with some great stories to boot. The key is to embrace the uncertainty of this lifestyle and learn to see it as an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. After all, what's the point of traveling the world if you're not going to be challenged, surprised, and occasionally pushed to your limits? As you face your fears head-on, you will become adept at adopting the following mindset. The worst-case scenario is rarely as bad as you think, and even if something challenging does happen, you're resourceful enough to handle it. Are you lost in a maze of narrow streets? Turn it into an impromptu sightseeing tour and ask the locals for directions. Bonus points if you can do it in their language. Are you struggling to make friends? Attend local events, join online groups, and don't be afraid to start conversations with other nomads. Chances are, they're just as eager for connection as you are. You get the idea. When life gives you lemons, make a lemon meringue pie. As for fear of ending up broke and homeless, having a financial safety net is crucial before jumping headfirst into your digital nomad life. This might mean saving up a few months' worth of living expenses or securing a steady stream of freelance work before you hit the road, and if worst comes to worst, remember that you can always move back in with your parents. Hey, it worked for your cousin Jimmy, right? Don't worry, we'll explore this more deeply later in the book. Ultimately, becoming a digital nomad is all about embracing the unknown and learning to thrive in the face of uncertainty. It's about trading the illusion of control for the thrill of adventure and the satisfaction of knowing you're living on your terms. Sure, it might be scary at times, but trust me when I say that the rewards are worth every ounce of fear and doubt you face. So my noble nomad in training, I challenge you to stare down the fear monster, give it a cheeky wink or a flip of the finger, and boldly step into the great unknown. As the saying goes, fortune favors the bold.
Becoming the architect of your own life.
As you prepare to embark on this thrilling and mildly terrifying adventure of becoming a digital nomad, it's a good idea to take a moment to tap into your inner architect. You know, the one that designed pillow forts and conjured imaginative adventures when you were a kid. It's time to unleash that creative genius on your future life as a digital nomad. But before you start drafting blueprints for your mobile office or pricing out bungee cords to tether your laptop to your waist while you zipline through the jungle, although that does sound pretty badass, it's necessary to take a step back and think about the bigger picture. As a digital nomad, you're seizing control of your destiny and stepping into a role allowing you to shape your life more than ever. It's like being handed the keys to a magical DeLorean, but instead of ending up in the Old West, you get to communicate with your future self and design a life tailored to your wildest dreams and desires. So, what do you want your days or weeks to look like? Are you the type that craves sun-soaked days by the beach, sipping a daiquiri while hammering away at your keyboard? Or do you prefer the moody, atmospheric embrace of a cozy coffee shop in a medieval European city? What about the adrenaline-pumping excitement of scaling mountains, ziplining through a rainforest, or diving into the ocean's depths in your downtime? When you think about the weather, food, entertainment, and culture you connect with, let your imagination run wild. Are you drawn to the spice-laden markets of New Delhi or the serene cherry blossoms of Kyoto? Does the sound of a sizzling Argentinian steak make your mouth water, or do you crave the delicate flavors of fresh sushi? This is your chance to create a life that's as diverse and vibrant as you are. Yes, you're on your way. Feel that excitement bubbling up inside you, like a volcano ready to erupt with a torrent of awesomeness, and maybe even some lava if you're into that. Please close your eyes and imagine yourself already living the life you've dreamed of. Whether wandering the cobblestone streets of Rome, surfing the breaks of Maui, or sipping tea in a tuxedo in the shadow of the Himalayas, having a clear vision of the life you want will help you plot your itinerary and also serve as an anchor during those inevitable moments of doubt or frustration. And if you still need to figure out the answers to these questions, don't worry. Part of the digital nomad journey is discovering your passions and desires as you travel and explore the world. As you journey outward, you'll also journey inward, learning more about yourself and what makes you tick. So grab a pen, paintbrush, chisel, or maybe even a chainsaw, safety first folks, and start sculpting the masterpiece that is your life as a digital nomad. You're about to start an epic odyssey that's equal parts Indiana Jones, Eat, Pray, Love, and maybe a dash of The Hangover, minus the tigers, hopefully. As you step boldly into the world of digital nomadism, know that this is your story to write. You can shape it into the entertaining, insightful, and heartwarming adventure that you've always imagined. So get prepared to start living your life like the daring, slightly unhinged hero that you are, and make your mark on this wild, wacky world. Key takeaways and action steps. As you set forth on this incredible journey, keep in mind that the key to thriving as a digital nomad is a combination of preparation, resilience, and a willingness to adapt to the world's ever-changing landscape. Stay open to new experiences, forge connections with like-minded individuals, and welcome the freedom and adventure this lifestyle offers. Here are a few action steps from this chapter to get you on your way. Reflect on your motivations for embracing the digital nomad lifestyle. Make sure you're doing it for the right reasons and are prepared to face the challenges it brings. Have a heart-to-heart with your friends and family and share your enthusiasm for this unfolding chapter. Remind them that the digital nomad movement is growing and thriving and can be a rewarding and sustainable way of life. Acknowledge and confront your fears and doubts about becoming a digital nomad. Plenty of nomads are living extraordinary lives, so you can too. And if you're less worried about your choice in life direction and more about your safety, know that things are generally a lot safer and friendlier than the sensational news media would have you believe. Visualize the life you want to create as a digital nomad, and let your imagination run wild. Consider the type of environment, culture, and experiences you want to incorporate into your new life. You are the architect of your own life, and you have the power to make it an incredible, unforgettable adventure. Congratulations, intrepid wanderer. You've made it through the treacherous terrain of considering your motivation. You've navigated the hazards of skeptical friends and family. You've grappled with your fears and doubts, and you have begun to unleash your inner architect to design the life of your wildest dreams. Now you're ready to start plotting your route. As we wrap up this chapter, I'll share the wise and slightly inebriated wisdom that a drunken sage in a tiki bar once told me. Life's a crazy ride, amigo. Buckle up, laugh at the potholes, and never forget to tip your bartender. Another whiskey, please, sir. Here's to you, future digital nomad. May your adventures be wild, your Wi-Fi be strong, and your horizons be ever expanding as you join the ranks of the bold, the fearless, and the slightly crazy who have chosen to live life on their terms as digital nomads. The world is waiting, the water is warm, so why not take a dip?
Thanks so much for listening to this preview of Free to Roam by Dougie Lux. If you'd like to listen to the full audiobook or check out other purchase options, head over to dougielux.com. That's DOUGILUX.com. And in the meantime, have a rockin' day and keep up those adventures, both inner and outer.